Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get your free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/E-MasterCast. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. You support Audible, they support us, and we keep putting out great content for you. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, and welcome to E-MasterCast. My name is Taraz, and we are here at the beautiful Beat Speak Studios in Lincoln Park for another episode of Chicago Entrepreneur Mastermind Podcast. Today we have a very special guest, Jonathan. Remind me your last name.
Pritchard, yeah.
Jonathan Pritchard. Okay, so Jonathan, tell us who you are, what you do, and why you do it.
All right. Let's see. Short version. Okay. My name is Jonathan Pritchard, and I firmly believe that we are all on a quest to live a life of freedom, of learning how to spend our time, how we want to spend it, and with the people we want to spend it with. And for me, the best way to do that is to have a business. But it's really important to do that business with the right mindset. Otherwise, you get trapped by your success. Yeah. So I've worked with some pretty amazing people that are literally trapped by their business. They can't get out of it. And now their life is horrible, right? So a lot of people trade their 40-hour-a-week job that they hate for a 24/7 hell they can't get out of. Yeah. And that's not a good way to do things. So for me, the best way to do that is to use the most powerful tool in the history of humankind, and that's the internet. Because that is the most powerful tool to uncouple your income from your time. Yeah. And it's just phenomenal. So if you know how to use that tool, that's freely available to anybody. If you're listening to this right now, you have the tools available to free up your time. It's just your mindset and your skill sets aren't where they need to be yet. So that's where I help people kind of work through their mindset and cultivate the skills to be able to use the tools that they already have access to.
Awesome. Okay,
that's the short version.
That's the short version.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what you do, but like, why do you do it?
Why do I do it? Okay. Let's see. When I was 5 years old, I saw a magician on the Carson show. Okay. And the magic was nice, but the assistants were even better. I was like, wait. If I'm him, I get to work with those beautiful women. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. Yeah. And when I was 5 years old, I wanted to be a magician. Yeah. And then 20-something years later, I'm still a mystery performer. Right? So I've traveled the world. I've been on national television, entertained the troops stationed overseas, worked with names that you would recognize, but I am legally and contractually obligated not to say exactly what it is. But if you died and went to heaven and there was an angel and who could do magic, it might be that person. Okay. So I've worked with amazing people, and after shows, there's always just like 2 or 3 people standing off to the side. So I'm signing autographs, and then everybody leaves, but then you've got 2 or 3 people sticking around, and I always know what they're going to ask. Yeah. How do you do it? Yeah. It just every single time, like, you're living the life. I'm like, yeah, I am. It's amazing. And it's just what I've always done. So it just comes so naturally to me. But over the years, I've realized that not everybody thinks that way. So when people would come up to me after the show and go, how do you do what you do? I'd be like, dude, it's easy. Just you start here, then you do this, and you do that. And they're like, oh my God. Those were my first coaching clients. I just didn't know it. But that's what really got me jazzed. Right, was giving people tools to go fish, right? Because after doing the show, I'm entertaining people. They're laughing, and then they go home. They had a lot of fun, but they're not leaving with tools, really. Yeah. So then when I transitioned into coaching, it got me even more excited because I love seeing people succeed. I love being friends with successful people. I love helping my friends be successful. So that's really what gets me going, is helping other people do what it is they've always wanted to do.
Awesome. Okay, so this is our first time really talking, but you seem like the type of guy that learns really quick, but you also put things in action really fast.
Yeah.
Really well. So I guess give me a timeline of like magician to entrepreneur, or
right.
Give me a timeline of your life.
Okay, let's see. Timeline. Let's see. Born in California, raised in North Carolina, college in Kentucky, summers in Fort Lauderdale, Then I went back to school. Then I went to Disney, worked there on the college internship program. Got done with that, went back to school, graduated, moved back to Orlando, worked at Universal Studios at the first magic shop there.
Okay.
Then I went on tour with a full-time entertainer to learn the business side of doing shows. So I was basically his indentured servant for a year and a half to learn the business of doing shows.
Yeah.
And then I went out on my own, and I was a full-time professional entertainer from that point on.
Okay. How long was that?
It's about 8-9 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, as a just full-time touring entertainer. But then being on the road all the time is brutal. Like it's fun and it's great, but still I'm trading my time for money. You know, I get paid really well, but I still have to show up to get paid.
Right.
If I don't make it to that show, I don't get the check for that.
Right.
So I was thinking about, okay, how can I still make a living without having to be on tour as much? So I still love doing shows. And I was like, oh, right. The mindset that I have to be successful as an entertainer is the mindset you have to have to be successful. So that's why I started the project alifewelldesigned.com, which is basically a way to help people think like a designer. So backing up a little bit, my educational background is in design. That's what I got my degree in.
Okay.
So my experiential background as a mentalist is the psychology of why people do what they do. So I understand motivational psychology in a way that like psychology scientists don't yet. Right? There's a really cool research into cognitive science, and magicians and mentalists have a unique perspective on that because we put it into practice. Every time we're on stage, we're actually doing it, and the scientists don't know why it works. Neither do mentalists. It's just that we know that it does work.
It works. Yeah.
Right? So it's combining the motivational psychology with the design process, because everybody's a designer. The design process is just the series of making choices. That's all it is. Do we use steel or aluminum for this telephone? Well, the steel will interfere with the signal, so let's use aluminum. So that you make that choice. Then you move on to the next one. So the design process is just making choices. Well, the lives we live are the results of the choices that we make. So everybody is a designer of their life. So just like you design a product, your life is the product of your choices. So most people let that process happen automatically on autopilot and then wonder why their life doesn't fit them exactly. Right. So if you take ownership of that design process, then you can very specifically craft and create a life that fits you exactly because you created it. So that's why I started A Life Well Designed. So it focuses mainly on the design process, but it doesn't really go into the nuts and bolts of here's how you build a business. I'm getting there, but really it's a labor of love. I'm kind of too busy working with clients and helping them get their businesses going. But to me, it's the most fascinating part is the psychology of why people will give you money. Like, I love that.
Yeah.
And
me too.
yeah, the psychology of sales, I love it.
Yeah.
And really, the most powerful thing in life, what do you think is the most powerful thing in life?
For me, the most powerful thing in life is just connecting with people.
Exactly.
Okay.
Relationships, right?
Yeah.
I like to use the term relationships because most people go to relationships with people, but it's fundamentally more powerful than that because it's relationships with people, it's relationships with yourself, it's relationships to your problems, with your money. The relationship to your life is the most powerful thing that you have, right? So really what sales is the process of building relationships. So how do you build relationships? Well, you got to build trust first. Well, how do you build trust? Through being congruous with your message. Yeah. Right. So if you say "I love you" and then punch them in the face, well, that's the action and the words aren't in alignment. So I help people pull their sales messaging into alignment with their values, so that you help build trust with your customers. So you're not selling to them; you're building a relationship and a dynamic where they want to give you their money. Right. That's a much better place to be in, where people want to give you money. Instead of going, well, how can I take money from that person? Yeah. And I feel like that's how most business people go about it is, how can I sell this person? How can I get their money? Instead of going, what can I do to create a situation where they want to give me their money?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're good, man.
Thank
I'm almost
you.
afraid to look in your eyes because of the
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, the mentalist,
yeah,
and
I get
design and everything.
Yeah,
man.
I get that a lot
Jeez.
because all right. So for people that may not be familiar with what the term a mentalist is, so there's a difference between magicians and mentalists.
Okay.
There's an umbrella term, mystery entertainer, that kind of covers all your bases. Magicians, when they do something, people go, "How did you do that?" With a mentalist, when you do something, people will wonder, how did you know that? Right? So magicians do tricks with stuff. Mentalists do tricks with information.
Okay.
So my show is all about information management. That's all it is. And people go, no, you have to be psychic. I'm like, no, there's nothing psychic about it. It's just a really good trick. And if it wasn't, I wouldn't be as good as I am.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and also, there's a Marx Brothers joke where somebody goes, how much to have you show up and do your show? And he says something like $5,000. He goes, well, how much for you to show up and do half of your show? It's like $10,000. It's like, oh, okay, well, how much to have you not even show up? You're like, you can't afford it, right? So if I'm not on stage, I don't do any mind reading. Because it does make building relationships difficult.
Yeah.
If people are going, well, is he in my head? Is he analyzing me? So no. So it's kind of like going to the office. You don't want to work on your day off.
Right.
So I don't do any mind reading in kind of casual space.
Okay.
You got to come to the show where that's the dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to read your mind right now.
Okay.
Your tattoos have something to do with the design of your life.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The tattoos definitely do mean something.
Okay.
So you get to ask one question about them. So you get one question a year. Is how it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do
This
they
one.
mean? What do they mean?
This one is the one you get in prison for killing somebody for asking a personal question. So I gave you that one as a freebie. But just whichever one you want to know about, just ask.
I'll ask about the other one.
Okay, this one,
Yes.
the
Show
only
to the camera. I don't think it's
only
here.
other one you can see right now.
Okay.
You don't get to see the other ones.
Okay, that's good. I
We
don't
don't know
wanna
each
see
other
it.
that well yet, but I got high hopes for you. All right, so this is when I was a kid, I also drew a lot. Like I love comic books, and I always wanted to draw comic books, but I realized that I wouldn't have the speed for it. But that's why I went into design in college, because I love painting and drawing, and visual communication is really where I excel.
Okay.
I actually had to train myself to be able to speak clearly and translate my thoughts into words, because I think almost entirely in pictures. So visual communication is really where my groove is. So I loved comic books because I loved the way that they looked. And my favorite comic book was G.I. Joe's, and my favorite characters were Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, which were the ninjas.
Yeah.
This was their family tattoo that they had in this spot right here.
Okay.
Right. So I got it basically because I'm a super nerd, but mainly it's to represent art and its place in my life.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, I like that.
But
Nice.
also, one of the toughest days I ever had was realizing that I'll never be a ninja. And that's because I'm a kung fu man,
Okay,
certified kung fu instructor. Nice. And it's the only practice of cultivating integrity that takes into consideration all metrics of being a human. So I realized, I'm a kung fu man. I can never be a ninja. That was a tough day. Yeah. Now you know me a little better.
I do.
Yeah.
It's good to know. Good
So
to know.
please, no sudden movements. I don't want to hurt my friends, but I will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll remember that.
Okay.
All right. So back to business a little bit. So
Yeah.
what do you coach what do your clients need help with the most?
Gotcha. Usually believing that they have something worth selling. Yeah. Case in point, who's now one of my super great friends. We met at a conference, and let me tell you who this guy is. He was the director of security at a U.S. embassy in Europe. If he messed up, it's a literal international incident.
Wow.
He had to lead his team and make sure that they performed at a top level every day, all day long. And what would you say he knows about leadership? Like everything, right? In a real practical way. It's not like, oh no, we didn't make our sales numbers. It's people died today and now there's a nuclear emergency. Like that's the level he's playing at. But he didn't feel like he had something to say. It's like, what are you talking about? You are sitting on a gold mine.
Right.
Like just a gold mine. He's like, yeah, but I don't know. So first we had to work on his relationship with himself and his experience and understanding just how valuable that is. So really, it all boils down to mindset, really. The only common denominator to all of your problems is you. So let's work on that first. So if you get that right, everything else kind of falls into place. So with him, worked on his message and got really clear about what it is that sets him apart and what value he can bring to the marketplace. Then we have to figure out how to communicate that as clearly as possible to people. So I helped him build the website, do the business cards, write the ebook, lay it out, build the PDF, the whole sales funnel, then starting to set up Facebook advertising. And that is really where the gold is. Okay. Facebook advertising, if you understand how that works, you'll never have a bad day again. Because would you build a billboard out in the middle of the woods? I wouldn't. Right. I would put it where the people are. And if there are 1.7 billion people in this one space, you better be sure that that's where I'm going to go to tell people about what I do, right? But the problem is most people approach Facebook advertising without a strategy. They just kind of boost one post and then don't really see any return. So they don't understand how it plugs into their whole sales process. So if you don't have a machine to make use of that torrent of people that are going to be coming into your sales process, it's useless. You're not going to get anything of use out of them. So that's really, it just goes from the ground up. So whether it's somebody trying to figure out what value they could bring to the market, help them with that. If they already have clients but are wondering why they're not closing as much as they should be, I help them with that. If it's the design of their website that's not building and fostering trust, maybe they're asking for the sale too quickly without time to build that trust, right? So it's basically on every level because it's all the same process of design and relationship building.
Awesome.
So I just kind of help clients take a bird's eye view of what it is that they're doing and then finding the weak spots.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So once again, there's a person out there watching this right now who's kind of in your same position, right? They've had a lot of experience in life. They've had they don't know how to design their life. Like how would you advise them to figure out a business because they know they have the skills to do something significant in the world?
Yeah.
But how would you advise them?
I would suggest that you go to a lifewelldesign.com and fill out your email, which you will get a PDF of 10 essential elements for an effective mind, which is basically just meditate, go to sleep. Like all the stupid stuff that you think is too simple for you to do, start doing that, right? So really, you have to figure out the end first. If you don't know what you want, then how am I or anybody else going to help you get it? And it's not my job to tell you what you want. I believe in a life of freedom. I'm not going to tell you what to do because I want you to do what I want you to do. It's like, I'm going to help you do whatever it is you want to do. But if you don't know what that is, well, nobody in the world is going to tell you what that is. Yeah. Or if they do, they're trying to start a cult. Which is very lucrative. So there's always that option. So work on your charisma, and you can always start a cult.
Very true. Okay. All right. Okay. So
that's actionable.
Yeah. Okay. We'll take a break at the cult part, and then we'll go into the lightning round.
You got it.
All right. So the lightning round. What's your favorite book?
My favorite book, Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. Okay. It is phenomenal. It is so complex but simple at the same time. Like, it's ridiculous. It's a multi-layered narrative. Like the main storyteller is telling a flashback, and then inside the flash, like it's just the most beautiful book I've ever read. It's amazing, but also just chock full of just plain old good advice and good thinking. Yeah, Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. If you've ever seen like Zen and the Art of Archery or Zen and the Art of anything, that's the book that started it all. And it goes under the guise of a novel, but holy cow, it's just very rich. And every year you're a different person.
Yeah.
So it becomes a different book. So you get different pieces out of it every time you read it again. So that's why it's my favorite book.
One of my favorite books is Zen and the Art of Disc Golf. Have you ever played disc golf?
I have played disc golf. When I lived in Texas, there was a course right in the backyard.
It's like a backup disc golf.
Man, it was amazing. Yeah, that's one of my favorite pastimes.
I'll shout out that book, Zen and the Art of Disc Golf, because
there you go.
It's a good book. Okay.
But now you owe it to yourself to back up and then go to the great granddaddy of the Zen and the art of
motorcycle.
Yeah.
I'll get it. I've seen it a lot of times, so I'll get it next time.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so once again, the 80-20 principle, right?
Yeah.
20% of the actions you take equate to 80% of the results.
Yes.
In your business, what is the 20% of actions you take?
Relationship building and long-term thinking. Because the biggest wins that I've had as a person, as a business person, however you want to measure it, was always with relationships that I'd built years before, right? Maybe 6-7 years previously is when the seed was planted. And then years later, we still maintained contact over that whole time, but it didn't become fruitful for a half decade. So relationship building is essential. It really is.
Okay. Is there a different question? Do you feel that your business is your life calling?
Yeah, I haven't really spent a lot of time thinking about a life calling. For me, it's more of what's the best opportunity for me right now that will still allow me to live with integrity and alignment with my principles? And what's the opportunity that will create the most opportunity for me afterwards, right? Because I've got lots of opportunities right now. It's just this is the one that I see will create the most opportunity down the road, right? So that's kind of my pain to glory ratio of evaluating what to do with my life. So I don't see it as like my calling is to go to Everest no. It's just kind of like this is the context that allows me to exercise my creativity and play to the fullest extent that I've found so far. And if I find something that does that better, then I'll go do that. But for now and for the foreseeable future, this is where it's at. Yeah.
Is there a mantra that has been a major player in your life?
Yes.
Favorite quote?
Yeah. So I don't have a life's calling, but I do have a mantra that I got in high school, and it is still with me. Illegitibus non carborundum.
Okay.
Do not be ground down nor worn away by those of illegitimate birth. Don't let the bastards get you down.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But
if you put it in Latin, it just sounds so classy. It's like, ooh, he's a learned man of words and letters. Like, nah, man, just don't let the bastards get you down. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Okay. Are you, I think I know the answer to this question, but are you an introvert or extrovert?
Oh, I am 100% introverted.
Okay.
100%. I've had to learn to function as an extrovert.
Really?
Right? So I looked at successful people. I looked at the popular people in school. Who were they? The people who could talk in front of groups and be personable and engaging and friendly and make people feel good. You're like, oh, I want to get the benefits that person's getting. So I got to do the things that person's doing. Yeah. So I had to learn how to be in front of a group of people and speak well and be engaging. But I prefer to be by myself. Right? That's where I get my most energy and kind of recharge. I'm just trained extrovert, natural introvert. Okay. So all those people out in the world be like, I don't know. I'm an introvert. You know what? Suck it up and do the things you have to do to be successful.
Right.
Like if you use I'm an introvert as an excuse, well, that's all it is, an excuse. So yeah, nice. 100% introvert, but functional extrovert.
Nice. Okay. So perfect question for you. If you could have any superpower or X-Men ability, what would you have?
Oh, mind reading for sure. And I have it. Yeah. I mean, it's the coolest thing ever. I mean, it really is the coolest thing ever because it's hilarious to me where every self-help book, Tony Robbins, Dan Savage, like everybody, Oprah, every single one of them you can find at least one place where they go, I'm not a mind reader, but here's the I'm a mind reader. I get paid on stage to mind read. Like that's a part of how I make my living is playing on stage and creating the very convincing illusion that I could read minds. So it's kind of awesome. So if for no other reason why you should listen to me is because I'm a mind reader and Oprah isn't.
Okay, all right. Next to last question, and then I'll let you get out of here. Advice for entrepreneurial kids and their parents. I don't think, do you have kids?
No, not that kids? I know of, no.
But you worked at Disney?
I did work at Disney,
kids, you're a magician, kids love you.
Oh, yeah.
So
they're scared of me, but, same thing.
Okay, so any advice you have?
Entrepreneurial advice for younger folk. Get right with money, right? Being an artist and artist background, there's a deep-seated belief that if you are successful as an artist, you're a sellout and therefore are compromising your ideals and principles.
Right.
Again, that's complete lie and excuse for failure. Like that's it. So you have to master money and understand the very basic principles that it works on if you are going to be successful.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of step one. Because if your finances aren't in order, then you don't have a strong foundation to work off of.
Very true.
So the best book that I've found for that is The Richest Man in Babylon.
I love that book.
It is phenomenal.
Great book.
It's phenomenal. It's very approachable, very simple, easy to read, which belies how powerful it is. As it is with most things, the most powerful things are very simple. Like, oh, yeah, I can ignore that because it's so easy. Yeah, good luck. Come back to me when you're ready and motivated, and then we'll work on the basics.
Yeah.
Like, too many people want to build the 99th floor of a skyscraper without pouring the first slab of concrete. Like, so without a foundation, I don't care how shiny your life is. You've got a rotten foundation. So you got to get first things first, then you can build on that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, so thank you, Jonathan, for coming on the show.
My pleasure.
How can people reach you? And second, how can we help you? As being that this is a mastermind, we want to help each other. So how can we help you?
The best way to get a hold of me is to go to alifewelldesigned.com. You can just go to contact and fill out the Google form, which will send it over to me. Just look for an email from Jonathan at alifewelldesigned.com on the way back. I guess the best way to help me out would be to tell people who you think might be able to benefit from some insight into the psychology of success. If they're not getting the clients that they want or anything, I can help them understand what fundamental issues are going on and then how to address them. So if you or anybody else listening or that needs that message, tell them about A Life Well Designed.
Awesome. All right. Well, that's going to conclude the show, man.
Beautiful. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
My pleasure.